Traditionally here in the city of Seattle, the team that is in the forefront of everyone's mind is the Huskies from the University of Washington. However, today in the Emerald City, it's an entirely different game.
They're all really strong teams. They support you and they back you up, cheer you up when you're down. And the team competition brings you all that much closer together.
Everyone says the Czechs are great.
I would put money on the Czechs.
The Swedish team is probably the best in the world, and we're probably going to win.
The Swedes also have a really strong team. They're one of the better European countries, but I think Canada will beat them out in the end.
Canadians are really strong.
It's a group effort. Individuals can receive accolades depending on how they perform, but it's all part of a cohesive group.
I'm a Canadian hater all the way, 100%, except for all the guys that are awesome and just incredible. They're probably the best Magic players in the world.
The American team's gotten a little bit of a bad rap sometimes lately. I mean, I'm sure they're all great players. I mean, to win the Nationals, you've got to be a really high level, skill.
I'm very proud of my teammates. We may not take first place, but I think we're all doing our best, and that's all that matters.
We don't have time. Thanks. Yeah, we really don't.
Well, yeah, you ignore the Polaroid porque está black.
I don't know. What else is over there?
Are you guys happy with how your team did here at the competition?
They're happy with their performance, and they think they did well, but they wish they could have had a little better looking clothes.
Well, it's a really hard question. We practice a lot, and I think we really like it best, and we really love to play it.
We have fun together and celebrate when we win and say good luck to each other. I've played against all of my teammates, and I know that they're all very skillful. I think we did really well at the tournament.
Is there more to entertainment than 500-channel TV and zillion-dollar movies? Turning the sound up and your mind off? Is there still a place where fun involves thinking, imagining, doing? Some of us think so, and we find it in a game. Magic the Gathering. All you need to play is a brain, a deck, and a friend.
In Magic the Gathering, each card is defined by a color. Each of the colors has its own specialties, strengths, and weaknesses.
Cards can do a wide variety of things, allowing players to manipulate the game to their advantage. Each competitor starts with 20 points. The goal of the game is to reduce your opponent's score from 20 to 0. We'll see what the cards have in store for Canada versus Sweden. The Canadian national team has performed extremely well in the past, but has narrowly missed out on a chance at the finals. This year, Canada has an opportunity to shine with 4 of its country's most consistent players. Team Canada is highly skilled, innovative, and determined. Sweden's team is full of new faces. These newcomers managed to finish just 1 point ahead of the favored team from the Czech Republic. Sweden is a surprise rising star at this year's event. Team Sweden is ambitious and hungry for a win, which makes them unpredictable and formidable.
We join the first game already in progress. Canadian national champion Gary Krakauer is taking on Swedish national champion Nikolai Weibel. We're 3 minutes into the game and the score stands at 18 apiece. Jeff, what can we expect to see?
Both Krakauer and Weibel are playing very aggressive decks. We should expect to see a short game with lots of attacking.
You're right, Jeff. Weibel has just attacked with both of his hypnotic specters.
14, 3 cards.
As both of the specters are flying creatures, Krakauer won't be able to block them with his own creatures. The specters will do 2 points of damage each, knocking Krakauer to 14 points. Specters also have a special ability which forced Krakauer to randomly lose 2 cards from his hand. This is a very powerful ability since a Magic player needs his cards to win.
Krakauer returns the favor by attacking with his own 2 creatures, doing a combined 6 points of damage, knocking Weibel down to 12 points.
Scores 14-12.
Do you tap? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just thinking what I do.
Krakauer obviously realizes the danger of Weibel's Hypnotic Spectre and uses one of his spell cards called Drain Life to destroy it. Drain Life's an interesting card. It both damages a creature and gains points for the player using it. In this case, Krakauer eliminates the Spectre and gains himself 2 points, raising his score to 16. Captain Gary Krakauer told us the secrets of Canada's teamwork.
Take 4. We're from the same city, so we've been able to work together to make sure that we would perform well at this tournament. The extra practice has helped, and it certainly has paid off great dividends for us in our performance that we've seen in the past few days.
Krakauer continues his assault. He attacks with his Urnum Djinn, Order of the Ebon Hand, and Mishra's Factory, doing 8 damage to Weibel, knocking him down to 4 points. This is Weibel's first World Championship.
It's very interesting to play the big names, since you all heard so much about them, like they're really good, and then you realize they're like human too, so and you can beat them.
Weibel has just played a Drain Life to destroy Krakauer's Urnum Djinn and gain himself 3 points, raising his score to 7. Krakauer attacks with his own Order of the Ebon Hand, doing 2 damage to Weibel, dropping his score to 5.
After attacking, Krakauer puts his Hypnotic Spectre into play.
Weibel continues building his defense by casting 2 Black Knights.
Okay.
I don't think this is going to be enough to stabilize the game for Weibel. The problem is going to be Krakauer's Contagion card. Krakauer could use this card to destroy 2 of Weibel's creatures.
Had Weibel attacked with his Spectre last turn, there was a 50-50 chance that Krakauer would have lost the Contagion.
He couldn't have attacked, Matt. If he did, Krakauer would have been able to attack with both his Order of the Ebon Hand and Mishra's Factory. This counterattack would have allowed him to win the game. Canadian teammate Gabe Sang talks about his captain.
Gary Krakauer, he's the Canadian national champion 2 years in a row. He's really good and really consistent, and he can play a control game really well.
Krakauer wisely waits to cast the Contagion until after Weibel blocks. The Contagion reduces both Weibel's Hypnotic Spectre and the Black Knight, blocking the Mishra's Factory. In their weakened state, both creatures are destroyed in the battle with Krakauer's creatures. While Krakauer did not deal any damage this turn, this encounter will most likely cause Weibel to lose the game. Also note that Krakauer took 1 damage as a side effect, casting the Contagion.
Krakauer draws an Incinerate.
The game is over. Krakauer just needs to attack and uses Incinerate to do the final 3 points of damage.
Which he does. First game goes to Canada.
Team Canada starts off strong, with Krakauer quickly winning the first game of his best-of-3 match. The other matches are still in progress.
Jeff, let's find out why the pros love this game so much.
Magic is a very intellectual game.
You're not just using intelligence, but you're using it in an exciting, fascinating way.
I think it's kind of combination between math and sport.
There's a strong mathematical element to the game, problem-solving sort of skills that are used.
There's a lot of strategy involved in the game.
You always have new opponents, you always have new strategies.
You never run into the same game, never draw the same hand. It's a perfect mixture of skill and luck.
The money's nice though. I mean, that's really helpful.
You can play Magic wherever you want, so you just sit down on the floor and play.
It's a game that pushes you to your limit in both a competitive, creative, and an intellectual means.
It's an incredible game. It's the best game in the world. It's so by far the best game in the world.
Magic is certainly a universal game. We'll continue with the World Championships right after this. So far, the team championship has belonged to the USA. With a little luck and a lot of skill, Team Canada hopes to add their name to the list.
I like Toronto because it offers diverse culture. There's entertainment of all sorts, very little crime. So it pretty much has everything to offer that anyone could look for in an urban center. Describe Team Canada. Ed is certainly the fire of the team. He plays with emotion, he plays with passion.
Ed?
Gabe, I'd say, is the foundation of the team. He builds solid decks. He's a good strategic mind. Mike's the subtlety of the team. You never quite know what he's going to do.
Why don't we go to this nice wall? Gary is definitely the wackiest player in our team.
I'm trying to get us all there, get us all organized, and make sure we all do as well as we can.
We're a really tight team, and we all live close to each other, and we practice together. So I believe that we'll be very comfortable playing with each other.
Team Canada likes to keep sportsmanship as one of its high priorities, and sportsmanship alone is probably the most important thing about Magic.
401 Convenience is one of the major stores that supplies gaming supplies and Magic in general in the Toronto area.
Active participation here in the store. You get to play against all different types of decks, all different types of styles, and it's that diversity that's really helping us prepare for Worlds.
Most of their teams don't have 4 consistent good players. I think we have the best 4 players for any team.
Winning as an individual is always fun, but I find the team event really is, in some ways, is even more enjoyable because it adds a component of fun that I think is sometimes lacking in the individual events.
We now join Canadian national finalist Mike Donay taking on Swedish national finalist Mattias Jordstad. We're well into the first game of the match. Donay leads 19-3.
To understand what's going on here, we need to start by examining the 2 decks being played. Jordstad is using a deck called Prosperous Bloom. Unlike most decks in this tournament, Pros Bloom has no creatures in it at all. Instead, the strategy of the deck is to defeat the opponent by using the Drain Life card to directly do enough damage to the opponent to defeat him in 1 turn. In order to accomplish this, the deck has to generate large amounts of magical energy called mana to use this giant spell card.
Winning the team championship is important, and Mike Donay tells us why.
I like to win the championship just to show that, to me as well as to other people, that it's more than a game, it's a sport, and that if you put hard work into it, you'll get something back.
Donay's hard work has certainly paid off here. He's in control of this match with things looking grim for Jordstad. Jordstad is playing a spell called Cadaverous Bloom. This card is essential to making his deck work. Cadaverous Bloom allows Jordstad to turn the remaining cards in his hand into mana.
Donay uses a counterspell to stop Cadaverous Bloom. His opponent likes team competition.
I like playing on the team because it's different. You rarely get the opportunity to play because it's mostly an individual sport or game. So it's fun to hang around a couple of friends and play.
Jordstad just used a spell called Arcane Denial to stop Donay's counterspell.
And Donay fights back using another spell called Dissipate to stop Jordstad's Cadaverous Bloom. Jordstad makes one last attempt with a spell called Disrupt, but it just isn't enough.
Mike Donay is certainly on his game today. Hjortstedt runs out of counterspells, and the Cadaver's Bloom does not come into play. Hjortstedt realizes he can't win and concedes the game. Donay wins another game for the Canadians. The Swedes have started to pick up their game. Weibel ties the mats against Krakauer, and Cederkrantz beats Ito. When we return, a crucial match for Team Sweden. Stay tuned.
You can have the fastest legs or the strongest arms. But are you ready for a game where all that matters is the speed of your mind and the power of your imagination? We are, and we're waiting around the world to challenge you. The game's Magic the Gathering, and all you need to play is a brain, a deck, and a friend.
It's a beautiful Seattle day. Let's see where Team Sweden calls home.
The guys on the team are quite different players. I'm an aggressive player. We really work well together.
My decks are pretty aggressive.
I play a bit defensive.
Probably the best thing with playing on a team is you can sort of feel the togetherness.
Nikolai is quite an odd player.
Being the youngest on the team, everybody thinks you're so cute and stuff.
A lot of opponents underestimate him.
And then you kick their Can I say that?
Johan is a very good deck builder.
He likes mostly aggressive decks, I guess.
Marcus is a mix between Nikolai and Johan. Also fun to feel.
Matthias is both a defensive and aggressive player. He likes to play different decks, and I mean, he's fun to hang around with.
We listen to a lot of different groups, but Nikolai's favorite group is Spice Girls.
No.
Nikolai.
Our gaming club here in Gothenburg is called Sverok. We often go there to practice. I mean, it's a place where everyone hangs out. Team Sweden has big prospects for the Worlds. We've done a lot of play testing. We have good decks. We have a team spirit that's probably unbeatable.
As we join our third pairing, Johan Cederkrantz of Sweden leads Ed Ito of Canada 1-0. Ito has come on strong in this second game, is ahead 19-8. Ito gets aggressive by attacking with his creature, a Wildfire Emissary.
Ito spends mana by turning his cards to increase the power of the emissary, causing it to do 3 points of damage to Cederkrantz, dropping him to 5 points.
Ito continues his offensive assault by casting a Frenetic Efreet, a flying blue and red creature.
Matt, Cederkrantz is in trouble. For now, he uses a Force of Will to stop Ito's Frenetic Efreet. The problem is he can't allow Ito to get any more creatures into play. Right now, he needs to remove Ito's Wildfire Emissary in order to live longer. Let's see what he draws. Cederkrantz just drew a spell called Honorable Passage. While this will let him hold on a little longer, it won't deal with the Wildfire Emissary. Ito decides to attack with his Wildfire Emissary. He uses mana to pump the Emissary to deal 5 damage.
Every competitor has a certain playing style. Ed Ito gave us some insight on his.
I believe that depth is really important in a deck. You should be able to deal with anything your opponent throws at you, but I'm more aggressive than I am defensive, I believe.
Why do you think? Cederkrantz refuses to give in. He casts Honorable Passage, keeping him in the game for another turn. This drops Ito down to 14 points.
Johan likes the aggressive style of the red-blue decks.
I find it quite amusing to play. It's quite offensive, and I like to do something when I play, not just react on my opponent.
Ito attacks with his Wildfire Emissary, dropping Cederkrantz to 4 points.
Ito casts his Disintegrate to deliver 4 damage. If Cederkrantz can't stop this spell, he'll drop to 0 and lose the game.
Cederkrantz keeps holding on. He casts Force of Will.
Ito is ready with his own counterspell. The Disintegrate works and deals 4 damage.
Another game goes to the Canadians. In other action, Krakauer wins the third game against Weibel to take the first match for Canada. When we come back, Sang versus Angelin.
Is there more to entertainment than 500-channel TV and zillion-dollar movies? Turning the sound up and your mind off? Is there still a place where fun involves thinking, imagining, doing? Some of us think so, and we find it in a game. Magic the Gathering. All you need to play is a brain, a deck, and a friend.
In the last match of the World Championship Team Finals, Canada's Gabe Sang plays Sweden's Marcus Angelin. Sang won the first game, but now trails Angelin 7-19 in their second game. Angelin casts a fireball spell, which has the potential of dealing 7 damage to Sang, which could end the game.
Matt, Sang uses a spell called Dissipate to stop the fireball.
Disrupt is good.
Angelin casts a Disrupt card, but it has minimal effect.
1, 2, 3.
Sang uses a card called Gerard's Wisdom. It gives him 2 life for each of the 4 cards in his hand. Sang gains 8 points, raising his point total to 15.
Although the score is very close, Sang has a distinct advantage. He has a land on the table called Keldoran Outpost, which will most likely win him the game.
Angelin casts a flying creature called Cloud Elemental. Sang then uses his Keldoran Outpost to make a creature. This creature is represented by a token. Sang attacks with his token creature to do 1 damage to Angelin, who drops to 17 points. Sang then uses a spell called Wrath of God, which destroys all creatures in play.
This seems a little premature on Sang's part. Normally, players wait a little while to use Wrath of God to destroy multiple creatures.
Angelin has cast Derelor, a powerful black creature.
Sang uses his Keldoran Outpost to make another creature.
Where the heck are my glaciers? That's what I want to know. Go ahead.
Angelin attacks with his Derelor. Sang blocks with his token.
Keeping up the pressure, Angelin casts a second Derelor.
I don't understand.
At the end of Angelin's turn, Sang uses his Keldoran Outpost to make another token.
Attack.
Sang attacks with his creature. It's destroyed by Angelin's Derelor.
It looks like Sang is planning to cast another Wrath of God as he basically threw away his token. Which he does. This destroys both Derelors. Beat down.
Impulse.
Sang uses a card called Impulse, which lets him take one of the top 4 cards in his deck. Sang takes a second Keldoran Outpost.
I haven't played land this turn yet.
Sang puts the outpost into play. He's using a counterpost deck. We asked him about his preferred style.
I like to play a lot of defense. Usually I like to play blue, and I like to play white and red for defense. I like to, in Constructed, I like to take the game and just make it mine.
Angelin casts a Shadow Guildmage, which Sang immediately removes with his Swords to Plowshares. Angelin gains 1 point as a side effect of the spell.
Make 2 dudes.
Sang makes 2 more creatures with his outposts.
Oh, there it is. 3. Back for 3.
Sang attacks with his 3 creatures. Angelin drops to 14 points. Sang puts a third Keldoran Outpost into play. He's now able to make 3 creatures a turn.
Sang then makes 3 more creatures with his outposts. Sang attacks with all 6 creature tokens. They deal 6 damage to Angelin, dropping him to 8 points.
He concedes and Sang takes the match. With Krakauer's victory, this gives the team championship to the Canadians.
Last year, they made it to the top 8. This year, Team Canada has the ultimate satisfaction in knowing they are the world champions. Captain Gary Krakauer tells us the meaning of teamwork.
We've all played Magic together for some time. We've known each other, and that really helped. We knew each other's styles, and we were able to help each other with their deck designs. We formed one group, we played as one group, and it showed, and we were on top all day, and we ended up #1, which we're very, very proud of.
After a hard-fought battle, the members of Team Canada take home $22,000 and the championship trophy. They'll be back next year, but so will a lot of other teams hoping to claim the World Championship. I'm Matt Gallant for Jeff Donay. Thanks for watching.